Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find some.
She ain't got no way but got thighs. Hop in the coupe and let's ride. I put you down on the high. 2 carry for surprise.
Hola YouTube, it's your girl Yaya and I'm here with another video. Please excuse the background. I'm at my grandma's house visiting, but I really wanted to get y'all this video by all means necessary because y'all need to know what's happening in Puerto Rico, okay? So joining us will be Monica, KK, and Emma. I literally just landed back from Puerto Rico today, so I'm about to give y'all all the little gems and the tips because I don't want y'all out here getting scammed or not maximizing your experience. So I already went for you, so let's just get right into it, okay? Period. Number 1, COVID tests and documents. You have to have a negative PCR test to enter into Puerto Rico. It has to be within 72 hours. Now, hold on, y'all. I got another gem for y'all. If you hate the nasal swab as much as I do, there's another company that offers PCR tests and you don't have to do the nasal swab. Y'all don't understand how, like, I praise dance through the dang COVID testing center when I found this gem. I'm gonna link it below. It's called, I believe, Curative or Curative. Either way, they guarantee your results within 48 hours. It's free, gratis. It's free. And they put it in your mouth, swab. You drop it in, you shake it in this liquid, and you toss it in the box, and then they email you your results. Exactly. I'm dropping that down below because you can use that when you go to Puerto Rico. Okay, other documents. Puerto Rico. Anyways, it's actually a U.S. territory if you didn't know. That being said, you do not need your pasaporte. You don't need your passport. You can enter into Puerto Rico with your driver's license, so your state ID. Now, my friend Michelle, who is from Texas, I'm gonna link her channel below. Basically Spirit Airline was saying that she needed a passport. She had to pull up Google and everything, y'all, to inform them that basically Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It's no necesario. No necesito. You don't need that. They clearly, obviously let her on the flight, so she ended up, not having any problems, which she shouldn't. I did bring my passport, but that was mainly because I couldn't find my driver's license. So if you have your passport, just bring it. If you have just your driver's license, bring it, but you'll definitely need one of the two. Now, you do have to wear your mask while flying, as well as being on the island of Puerto Rico. But according to the travel laws during COVID, you don't have to wear your mask at like the beach and things like that. So the great thing is that most of the time, my friend and I, we were at the beach. We didn't have to wear our mask that much because we were beach hopping. So it's a good balance with the mask and no mask. Once you land in Puerto Rico, you need to present a QR code to exit the airport. There is a form that has to be filled out prior to arriving to Puerto Rico. I'm going to drop in the description the direct link that you need. I highly recommend that you fill it out before arriving. There were some people, apparently they did not know about the form.
I mean, the line was wrapped around the airport of them waiting to have to fill out the form and then waiting in line just to leave the airport. And the form is pretty lengthy. It pretty much just consists of asking you to upload your
negative PCR test. I highly recommend that you fill it out because then when you land, you could just go on. You're on vacation, honey. You don't have time to be waiting in line.
Fill that form out.
This is kind of weird, but I was happy about it. You don't need a negative PCR test to return back. Yes, depending on your state. From my understanding, it's all of the states. I know for sure for Florida and Texas, you do not need a PCR test to return and you do not need to quarantine to return back. You just need that negative PCR test to enter. Now, flights, hotels, and pricing. So as far as me coming from Florida, the flight schedule was very limited. There literally was only 3 flights what seemed like every single day that goes to Puerto Rico. There was one super early in the morning which is like leaves at like 6 a.m. There was one evening-ish, it left at like 3 p.m. And then there was one that left all the way at 10 p.m. So you had to pick between those three flight schedules. My friend who also lives in Texas had a similar flight schedule, so I think that's just routine for going to Puerto Rico. I think they usually only have 3 flights or so. And out of all 3 flights, 2 of them are Spirit Airline. To be completely honest, Spirit did have the best flight schedule. I personally like to maximize my experience when traveling, so I like to go to the earliest flight. So I end up choosing to fly with Spirit.
And if it's your first time flying Spirit, I just want to let you know it's everything that they said it was and more. Get to the O, but you gonna get there. Buckle up.
I also want to note, I was told that Spirit is super cheap, and normally I'm hearing that it is. I don't know what's going on with Puerto Rico, okay? But the prices to me, oh my bad, it's not just me. Google Flights confirmed it that these flights are some of the highest prices that it's ever been. I think round trip, we ended up paying over $300 for a round trip flight, and we see it on Google Flights that these tickets are usually $60 to $70 per round trip. So they definitely have surplus, I don't even know if that's the word, the flights, I guess, because people are coming so much, they decided to be like, we're gonna get in those pockets. I don't know, but please keep that in mind when budgeting and planning to come to Puerto Rico. Hotel/housing. Okay, y'all. Normally Airbnb is my dog. Like this me and Airbnb. Okay, we eat. Okay, I love Airbnb. Not in Puerto Rico, honey. Absolutely not. Y'all, I don't know if they was all sold out, but every Airbnb me and my friends seen was, they have no business on being on Airbnb. I was about to say Airbnb an email, like, you need to look at house 3222259. Like, sir, no, like they were really, really bad. Now, while being there, I realized I was not being dramatic about the Airbnb options. One of our tour guides actually informed us that there is a section in Puerto Rico that is government housing or Section 8 housing, and people actually put them on Airbnb. Right, and it shows. Personally, para mí, we decided to go ahead and go through a hotel. We went to the good old Marriott, okay? We kept it simple because it was just getting ghetto, okay? Like, absolutely not. We stayed for, we did 4 nights, 5 days at the Marriott. Again, the prices are higher, guys. I'm letting you know now. Our hotel, I think for the entire week, we ended up splitting it, of course, and we paid, I think, $3 something, which totaled out to like $600. But normally the courtyard at Marriott, which is where we stayed at in Miramar, which is only like 12 minutes away from the airport, and it's in the heart of San Juan, I would say. Normally I heard that the room is usually like 100 and something a night, and it was like 200 and something a night. Either way, it was higher. There's another hotel that I didn't personally stay in, but I met these girls on the plane that were staying there, and I slid by their hotel. It's really a resort. It's super, super nice. If you have the coins, okay, I'm gonna drop the link down for that hotel. It may work in your budget. It was a beautiful hotel. It's also the only resort in San Juan that has its private beach access. It was pretty dope. I didn't get to do, I think, a video of the pool, but I have a video of the entrance, and it's spectacular. Highly recommend that place if you're able to say that the Airbnbs on the east side of Puerto Rico look marvelous, but the east side is a pretty distance from the heart of San Juan. I would not recommend, if you're trying to be in San Juan, merely that you get an Airbnb on the east side, because that's like a 2-hour or maybe more commute. So as for me and my advice, I highly recommend you get a hotel. As far as searching for hotels, just Google hotels in San Juan or go on booking.com. You can go on any of those and you'll see a list of hotels are available. Now, if you're watching this, I do want you to know, right now, everyone's going to Puerto Rico, okay? And I am not mad at them. I just came back and it was beautiful, and I cannot wait to go. Again, that being said, since a lot of people are coming, they are being sold out, guys. So if you see a place that's open, put down your deposit, secure your spot, because it really might not be there within the next minute. I'm not playing. Now, as I said, I told y'all,
we stayed at the Marriott for 3 nights, which was super nice. It was lovely, great experience. On the last night, we decided that we're going to stay at another hotel because we ended up booking an extra night accidentally, and we needed just a cheaper place to stay at since we were only staying there for the night and leaving. I think our flight left at like 6 a.m. So this hotel, I want to say beware. Don't stay there, okay? I'm going to put the name in the description bar, or at least stay at your own risk. Don't say you didn't hear. We stayed there for 1 night, and it was hell. Y'all.
Ghetto is not even the word. We walk in, it's already musky smelling. Our covers had lipstick stains on them. There was mold on the lamp, on the refrigerator that was in there, the mini fridge. The shower started to flood. Then the electricity, this is all in a time span, I promise y'all, of amount of 5 hours of being in the room. The electricity cut out, had to shower in the dark. Then the room next by us decided to do a whole house party in this small behind room. Like, the room was like this big. So they're doing a whole house party, I guess, at like 3 a.m. They loud, banging stuff, breaking stuff. Like, you could just hear them cutting up. Security ain't stopped them. They didn't do nothing. I do not recommend you stay in the hotel. Don't even go near. Don't even walk near. Don't even smell it. Just keep on walking. I honestly feel like if you book this hotel, maybe because you're like, oh, you're trying to be a little more cost efficient, just know they have increased the prices of these hotels. So the hotel we stayed at that really should be in the Motel 8 category, like maybe $40 to $50 a night, they really have it at $130 a night because they increased prices, but it should be a $30 to $40 a night type of motel. It's terrible. And if you're staying there, you're looking at staying there because you're like, oh, we ain't gonna be in a room like that. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. We were only there for a total of about 7 hours and all of that happened. The flood, mold, lipstick stains, illegal parties, electricity coming out of the walls, just a mess. Don't lie to yourself. Maybe you just need to wait on Puerto Rico. Maybe you need to save a little more coin, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm telling y'all, don't stay there. Link below. Transportation. So when you land, if your hotel doesn't provide a shuttle, which you can ask to confirm, if they don't provide a shuttle, you're going to need to get a taxi or use Uber. Taxis start at $20 per person, so it can get kind of pricey if you're with a group of 4, 5, or more. They also charge $1 more on top of that rate for each bag, so you could easily end up paying a lot of money for a taxi. But Uber works there. No other app works there from my understanding, not Lyft, Cabify, none of that. So you can use Uber. For some reason, my Uber didn't work, but my friend's Uber worked. And Uber is a lot cheaper. If you're able to walk up the street a little bit, you also will be able to get a cheaper rate as well. But I do also want to remind you that a lot of people use Uber. So on average, you're going to usually wait anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes for an Uber ride, maybe 15. I think the longest we waited was 25 minutes. But just keep that in mind when ordering your Ubers. Now, even though they have those transportation options, I highly recommend for Puerto Rico that you get a rental car. No, escúchame, por favor. Listen, okay? I got you. Let me tell you why. A rental car really maximizes your experience. We did not have a rental car and we did make it work just based off of what our experience. I know now that the next time I go, I will have a rental car. You really get to maximize more. For example, without a rental car, you can only really stay in San Juan, and not even all of San Juan, on the inner skirts of San Juan, like the metropolitan area, unless you have like a excursion tour book where they provide transportation. Other than that, you have to stay in pretty much walking distance of this circle area, which would consist of you going to Old San Juan, maybe doing some hookah, and then one beach or so. So if that's your idea of what you want to do on this trip, then you won't need a rental car. You can just do it like that. But if you really want to maximize, if you looked at my Instagram and been like, whoa, I want to go to those places that she went to, I want to check that out for myself, I do recommend that you get a rental car. You can venture out to different parts of the island, like the east side, which has these beautiful arches that you know only God himself made. Like, it's just so much to discover here, and you just really get to plan your own trip and decide what you feel and what you want to do. You also save money because those Ubers add up. Ask me how I know. For example, the places that we went to, I think is Cueves. I'm gonna link it below. But one of the places was a 50-minute drive. Honestly, not that far. Because we didn't have transportation, we really wanted to go. We ended up hiring a driver. The driver can be kind of pricey. It just really depends. Thank God we were able to split it and negotiate with the driver, and we were able to get a taxi driver who drove us there, waited for us to spend time there, and drove us back. Now, that hiring of the driver was about $200. Now, if you're in a party of 4, 5 or 6, y'all can split that. No pasa nada. It's no big deal. But for us two, we had to split it, and we ended up paying about $100 each. But we kind of broke it down to, honestly, most of the excursions range from 50 to 100. So we basically built our own excursion, and that's how we made it work in our budget, because one of the days we didn't do an excursion, so we kind of was able to budget that in. But ideally, if we had a rental car, we could have just drove that 45 minutes, put gas in the car, and it would have been a lot cheaper. So that's another reason why I'm recommending you to get a rental car. If you decided that you're going to get a rental car, pause this video, don't forget to subscribe, and you just go look now. When we decided we wanted a rental car in the middle of our trip, we called so many places, they were sold out. Have you ever heard of a rental car not having cars anymore? Exactly, that's how much of the demand is in Puerto Rico ahora, right now. So that being said, if you're really trying to be out here in these Puerto Rican streets, okay, sliding and profiling, then you need to be on it. I'm telling y'all now. I'm already telling you, so you can't say you ain't know. Also, just in case you were wondering, I know some people are a little confused. With it being a U.S. territory, they use the U.S. dollar, so you're fine with the U.S. dollar. Also, make sure you have some cash. Efectivo, mami, efectivo. Vale. Actividades y excursiones. So this is going to be just activities and excursions that you can do. Because a lot of people have been messaging me and they're like, girl, what Puerto Rico you went to? The one that I researched. But that's all right, y'all, because I just did it for you. I'm going to list what we did, and I'm also going to put the links in the description bar. In order for us to do some of these activities that were super awesome and had these grand reviews, we had to do a lot of tours or excursions because they provided transportation. Mind you, these excursions do have the option for you to drive your car there, which saves you so much money. First day, we decided to go to this beautiful beach to watch the sunset, which was very close to our
hotel, and it's also where we went snorkeling at. We seen turtles, and we seen underwater caves and benches, so many things. It was honestly so fun. So I don't know the name of the beach, but the snorkeling center is at that beach. So I'm going to drop down below the name of the place we snorkeled at, and if you Google Maps that, that's actually the beach.
And the sunset is something you won't want to miss. It was literally breathtaking. We found ourselves just sitting there on our first night in the dreamy days. The next day, guys, we actually did a catamaran tour to a private island. I think we went to Islaicos. No recuerdo. No sé. I'm gonna put the name down, but it's a very popular beach to go to. The water is so blue. Oh my God, it's just iridescent. I'm gonna put in the description the excursion company that we went to. I believe it's called Salty Dog. They pick you up from your hotel, take you to the boat dock. They pick up other people that are coming on the catamaran. It's a pretty big boat. They feed you. You get unlimited drinks, not food. And the food is just finger food. They said because of COVID, normally it's like a buffet style, but it's just finger food. Again, unlimited drinks, both alcohol and non-alcoholic. And after they take you to the private island, they take you to one other place in the middle of the ocean, and you can snorkel and things there. It's honestly was an awesome experience. We absolutely loved it. Then the next day we went to El Yukon. I'm about to say El Yukon. Anyways, I think it's El Yukon. rainforest, which is the only rainforest in America. You know, that whole U.S. territory thing is just a little... But anyways, it's the only rainforest. We actually went hiking through the rainforest. It was not the excursion that went it. Remember, with the rainforest, okay, there's rain, and you don't really know what the weather's going to be. So the weather was not on our side when we booked it. The tour people did not inform us of this information. We were greatly discounted. Well, we wasn't letting up, okay, but we were greatly discounted. It was a nice experience, but we were supposed to be like swinging from ropes and jumping in lakes and rivers and looking at waterfalls, and then we didn't get to do none of that because it rained and it made the river flood to a point where it wasn't safe for us to walk through. So make sure you talk to the guys about the weather conditions before booking, but I'm gonna have the tours linked below because it's definitely something that if you can experience, that you want to. We also went to Old San Juan. Old San Juan, guys, is free. It's beautiful. There's all these walls with all these different colors, famous flag doors where you can take pictures. It's a very cute place, and also for gifts and things like that, that's all there. They have restaurants there as well.
If you're looking to take pictures at the Puerto Rican flag door, it was a little tricky to find, but go into any of the local shops, show them the picture of the door, and they'll point you to the right direction.
They also have a street. It's called La Placeta. I'm gonna put the name below, but it's literally a street with just bars. I realized, and we were also informed that in Puerto Rico, it seemed like people more bar hop rather than club, but that's a super popular street. So if you're looking to do that, that's a street that you want to go on. Our last full day, that's where we went to Indigo. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering these names off the top of my head, but I have them right here and linked below. That's where we hired the driver to take us there. It was dangerously beautiful though. Like, seriously. I will say, if you're going there, please bring some type of hiking shoes, closed-toe shoes, or water shoes, something that you can climb up. It's not somewhere that you go there drinking or anything. You need to be fully aware while you're there because you're climbing up, and randomly you'll see some holes and you could fall in them, and that's it for you because underneath is just waters crashing up against. So you have to be careful with going there. I do not recommend that you bring children out there. I did see families out there, and those kids looked like they were about to fall off the edge. Their parents was grabbing them, telling them to listen. They weren't listening. I was praying, literally saying, Jesus, please help. This is ridiculous. So I don't recommend that you bring children out there. Again, it was a great experience, but I just feel like you have to be very attentive and aware while you're out there. Take your pictures, look a little bit, sit, relax, and then go on. It's not a place to be just sitting around joking, pushing people, or anything like that. It really can be dangerous. As we were at the top, we actually seen a beach, and when we came down, we asked the people that kind of man that area. So the guy knew a lot of information concerning the history of the land, and he informed us of a beach that was right down the street. It's about like maybe a 1-minute drive, but you could honestly walk to the beach from the location, and the beach was a hidden gem. Like, literally, you wouldn't be able to find it if you weren't told by the locals, because it literally says Ida, no pasada. But you walk through this little path, and then just this beauty instantly opens up. And it was a beautiful beach. We enjoyed ourselves. We sat, we laughed, we swam. We had a really amazing time. I do want to recommend, if you are going to do the Catamaran tour, if you're someone who gets motion sickness, get one of the motion sickness patches. They don't provide them there, and I know at one point towards the end I started getting very seasick, and I had to literally talk to my mind and say, you're okay, you're not gonna throw up. So to avoid that, go ahead and get you guys some motionness patches or pills if you can prior to going. Now, if any of these excursions excited you, you see the videos and you're like, yo, I so want to do this, I really want to encourage you to book it now.
2 of the things, like the rainforest and the catamaran, they were booked up, y'all. We was calling like some crackheads, like literally harassing them. Please, it's just 2 of us. Can you just let us in? They're like, no, we're full. No, we're full. Sorry, no. And we finally, by God's grace and favor, we were able to get squeezed in, mainly because it was only 2 of us and we kept calling. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it started to get really annoying and it's stressful if we would have let it.
I really advise you, if you found any of those interesting, to go to the website. You're able to actually book in advance, to just set that up so you have that secured and you have your activities down and packed. I also want to go as far as saying, if you know you really want to do that catamaran tour or the rainforest, and let's say you sold out until the 20th, then you would have already left Puerto Rico. Right now, almost all of the flights are offering free rescheduling. I know all the hotels in Puerto Rico are offering free rescheduling and booking. If you really want to do those activities and you're able to, I really actually would encourage you to rebook your trip and schedule it around the open availability. So if you found openings during the last week of this month and you were supposed to go in 2 weeks or something like that, I would actually push my trip back, because I'm telling you, those moments made my experience so much more, just being able to go to these different places that honestly a lot of the locals go to themselves, and it's beautiful. Now, for the islands, there is also a ferry that you can take if you don't want to book through a tour company. The only thing is, it's a little boat. It drives you there and it's off.
Family comes back. There's no set time or anything like that. And then sometimes things happen with those ferries because they're just like privately owned boats by people. Sometimes those boats break down, so they're not able to go pick the people back up. Like, even from the locals, they were like, it's not always secure to use it. Also, there are no bathrooms. There's no food or anything if you're going on the island of, I think it's Icacos.
Nothing there. So I really encourage you to do a tour if you're able to. Now, if you're not and you really want to experience it, I just would say prepare. Bring food, bring water, talk to the ferry driver about what time to pick you guys back up. All of those different things so that you can ensure that you have a great experience. COVID guidelines. Okay, so while we were there, the COVID guidelines were pretty standard. Wear your mask. There is a curfew. The curfew was you had to be in your house by 12 a.m., which was definitely enforced. Most restaurants, though, guys, close 8:30, like the ones in Old San Juan, like those touristy places, by like 8:30, they were closed. There was a restaurant, thank God, at our hotel. They didn't close till 10, but they took their last order at 9:30. The food was delicious and it's actually open to the public. I'll have that restaurant link below as well. So you definitely want to plan out your dinners accordingly, because by 8:30, a lot of them were closed. Even though you didn't have to be inside until 12 a.m., they were already closed. Also, guys, I actually do want to update you. We were actually informed this the night before we were leaving at a restaurant we were eating at, that the new curfew for Puerto Rico is 9 p.m. Like, you have to be in the house by 9. So the lady stated that they were going to close their restaurant at 8. Do not go off of Google. I mean, 90% of those restaurants that have not updated their information. Me and my friend ran into that multiple times where we read that it closed at 10. We get there and they're like, oh, no, we close at this time. So call ahead if you can to confirm what time are you closing today. But I did hear that the new curfew as of today, actually, in the house by 9 p.m. So you do have to plan accordingly. Now, I do want to let you know, most of the activities and excursions, actually all of the ones that I have named, are actually all during the day. Still be able to have a good time. Now, if you're going to Puerto Rico for hookah clubs and stuff like that, I'm not judging you, that's your business. I mean, you could hookah at home, but anyways, if you're going there because you're like, oh my god, I just want to hookah in Puerto Rico, I don't know, this might affect your traveling, so do plan accordingly. Vale, chicos. So that was my trip to Puerto Rico. I planned it with my friend in like less than 2 weeks. We just really wanted to go out and enjoy ourselves and just take a breath from some of the things that's going on in life. And we needed it. It rejuvenated us. It restored so many things. I definitely encourage you, do your research as you're doing now. Enjoy yourself in the ways that are available. Really hope this video was helpful and that it will help you plan out your travel smoothly. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want more information on, follow my Instagram. I tagged a lot of the places. Comment below. I will be happy to help you. I'm also going to be uploading my vlog of Puerto Rico so you guys can really see what really went down. So don't forget to tune in, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and stay forever blessed.
I dig a vibe. She ain't got no way but got thighs. Hop in the coupe and let's ride. I put your down on my eyes. 2 carry for surprise.